what we do is we shift very quickly into the identity of the person that you want to be and the life that you want to have, the person who's already capable, the person who's already healed, the person who's doing the things that you want to do. And we're able to recalibrate you energetically to that version of you in a very short period of time by tapping into evidence from your own life.
Welcome to the Spiral Up podcast. I'm your host, Dr. LaChelle Wieme, a peak performance coach and business strategist dedicated to helping you see what's possible within you, the blind spots that are holding you back, and the solutions to ensure success and fulfillment without the hustle. I use my secret sauce of metaphysics, brain science, and scripture to work with God to manifest your ideal life and business. If you're ready to create massive forward momentum in your business and bust through the blocks that drag you down, join me on the Spiral Up journey and create the clarity, confidence, and consistency to become the CEO that lives your life by design. It's time to create the sustainable impact, income, and time freedom you desire faster. Now is the time to spiral up.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spiral Up podcast. I am your host, Dr. LaChelle Wieme, and today, oh my goodness, we get a chance to have a really fun, casual conversation with some of my favorite people. These are my Spiral Up clients, and I asked them to help me with the show today because I have recently been challenged by a dear friend to talk more about the movement, I guess is what I'm going to call it, that I have been, instigating over these last couple weeks. But one of the things that I wanted to give you guys all background around this is that I got back from a 3-week vacation and I really had to sit in the space of what is lighting me up and what do I want to maybe eliminate from my life and my schedule, and what do I want to add? And when I asked myself, what could I do tomorrow? What would I do tomorrow if I could do anything? And the answer came so naturally to me. It was work on my identity method. And it was something that I had been given a download on several months prior, but I was so busy in the day-to-day minutia of my business that I didn't give myself any permission or time or space to actually work into this new methodology that I had been silently creating in the background and had downloaded to me. And so this work is changing everything. Like if you were to ask me how I would respond to a client today versus 6 months ago, completely different. Would you guys agree? Like things have shifted, right? And what I did was I took all of my coaching staff as well as my current Spiral Up clients and I used them for my beta testing on my methodology because I wanted to essentially prove that what I had theorized is actually happening. And again, I'm going to give you some background on more details of this identity work in another episode, but I wanted to just let this fun, casual, very natural conversation come to life because I think that when we can apply these principles, it's not just a theory, but it's actually something that we experience, that we embody, like everything shifts. So, you guys, thanks for being here. I have just a handful of these amazing people that agreed to show up today for this conversation. So, all right, I'm just going to let you guys decide, who wants to go when it comes to answer these questions, but each one of you guys had an opportunity to have an identity recalibration activation with me. So it is essentially a 1-hour process that I take people through. And who would like to describe your experience with that? Okay, Kellie Johnson, who you guys, she's one of my amazing, amazing coaches on my team. She does the somatics, body code, emotion code for my clients. And oh my gosh, she runs her own retreats. Like, you're amazing. I just have to say that.
I love you so much. Thank you. Okay, so the session that I had with you was fascinating because I'm trained in belief breakthrough, which is really similar to E4, but still
Mhm.
different.
Yeah.
And when you were taking me back to a memory, it is one that I have done E4, belief breakthrough, body code, emotion code, like every modality I've been
Yeah.
exposed to,
Yeah.
I have gone back to this memory. And so when it first took me back there, I was like, what is happening? And I was like, okay, Kellie, trust the process, because so much work had been done around it. But it's fascinating because the experience that I had it wasn't about looking at it through the lens of pain anymore. And I
Mhm.
brought in this lens of, that's when I really connected with this part of me that was like, I want to live the life that is mine to live, that is full and bright and exciting and connecting. And even now, like, I get teary just thinking about it, because this memory has to do with one of the very last times that I saw my grandma, and she was really sick and I was sick and contagious and just all this stuff. But now when I look back on it, I remember in the session that I had this experience just hugging my grandma and
Mhm.
feeling her say, Kellie, go and do these things.
Yeah.
And so now, again, going back to that memory, it's just this like energizing, peaceful experience when it's been a source of pain for so long.
Mhm.
And 30 minutes is what the whole process took, right? And it took me from pain to like, no, I get to have the life that I want. I get to have the changes that I want. I get to have the family connection that I want. It's okay to set things down. It's okay to pick certain things up. And yeah, I can tell just in my system, like, I feel, so one of the identity that I'm really anchoring into is that I'm the boss of my life and this queen energy. And
Yeah.
it just rolls through the back of my mind regularly. Like, am I showing up like the boss, or am I showing up in a soft or kind of victimy way?
Yeah.
And it's just this quick check where I'm like, no, like, claim this and own it and move forward. And again, I've had hundreds, if not close to 1,000 belief breakthroughs and D4s, which all have built me up in incredible ways. But this one session has shifted more for me,
Aw.
and sustainably shifted more for me than other sessions.
And how do you feel you have shifted after the session? Because I might give you guys just a brief little background in this so that this is making a little bit more context for you. What I realized is that the personal development space and my own methodologies over years of practicing have focused on why I'm not doing what I want to do, what is wrong with me that I need to fix, and why is it broken, and getting to the root cause of that so that we can subconsciously correct and shift things. And what I had this download, this awareness of, is that the personal development space, in all the methodologies that I've learned and all the things that I've done, it focuses on what's wrong with me. Meanwhile, there's a version of me that has already been healed, that's already figured this out. And if I continue to put energy and focus on what's wrong with me, energy goes where attention or energy flows where attention goes, right? And so it's going to continue to activate that energetically. But what we do is we shift very quickly into the identity of the person that you want to be and the life that you want to have, and the person who's already capable, the person who's already healed, the person who's doing the things that you want to do. And we're able to recalibrate you energetically to that version of you in a very short period of time by tapping into evidence from your own life, as well as shift it and body it. There's a part of body work in there that I've incorporated that allows you to essentially shift your and quantum jump into a new identity. And that identity then becomes your new source code, your source operating code, in which you now are thinking, feeling, believing, behaving, that are influencing the results that you have. And it's from this empowered place versus a I need to fix this place. And so when we think about that, like, I get goosebumps when I think about what you've just said. How has your boss energy, your identity, shown up for you since we've done the session?
Well, in a previous call that I was on with you, you talked about how it can show up as friction first.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And I, since having my session with you, I'm like, I don't want to work on any of my clients.
Hmm.
And I love my clients and we're doing really great work.
Yeah.
But it, it's just exposing like how much we're focusing on problems. And
Yeah.
it's invited me to shift, even
Yeah.
just like micro shifts in the way that I work,
Hmm.
where it's it's going a layer deeper, and it's also helping support anchor into someone's identity. And just in the friction that I've had in my sessions with clients and being able
Hmm.
to go, okay, but what would tie into that boss energy, that queen energy? I've been able to have sessions where like clients will be like, my body feels very, very different now. And momentum is happening and creativity is happening. And so the work that you did with me has come into the work that I do with clients, and it's like we're no longer focusing on what's broken and not working and trying to make it feel pretty.
Yes.
We're really and like amazing results have happened there, right? But faster results are happening now
Yeah.
as identity piece is coming in.
Well, and isn't it something how, as a practitioner, like I realize how draining it was for my energy to constantly reactivating people's trauma and people's stuck points because and I don't want to say that we're emotionally bypassing because it's not, would you agree that it doesn't feel like that? Because there's a
Right.
part of me that is just like, I am from a different identity where if something comes up, I just handle it differently. Like it's hard to explain, isn't it, you guys?
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm pretending that things aren't there when I need to look at them, but it's this need to look there, this need to reactivate it, this need to freaking throw it through the mud and overanalyze it and try to figure out the logic in it is not there anymore. And now when I'm dealing with the identity work and really focusing on our energy on I want to be, I am energized. I can't wait to do this work. I'm not drained anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's so cool. It's so cool. And that's what I think it's neat is that now you really understand the power of this. And so you're incorporating this whole perspective into your work and the work that you do inside of the Spiral Up for our clients and stuff. And so like there's this movement that is happening where we're deciding how we want to shift and how we want to grow, but it's from a place of empowerment and fun and joy and ease and flow, isn't it, you guys? Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. I love that so much. Who else wants to share their experience?
I just wanted to say that I am not tired right now. I mean, I had been tired, for a while now, but like for the last several weeks since but just through this whole experience, it's like life is so full, it moves fast, the time flies, and I don't get tired in the afternoons. I sleep less now. It's just, so when you talked about energy,
Yeah.
I felt that. Um, And like I mentioned earlier, the whole process has filled a void. Sometimes you think, yeah, when you're a child or when you're growing up and you go, well, what do I want to be when I grow up? And you think, and, but you're never sure. You're never certain that that's the thing.
Yeah.
After this shift, I felt very confident that this is exactly who I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And so all my energy is being poured into that. And
Yeah.
and I love it.
I love it.
So
And you're just like your energy is just contagious, David. Like you glow. And I don't know, there's just something that I've noticed has shifted in you as well. You just seem to be more comfortable in who you are and allowing your natural gifting to just be a part of your everyday, not something that you're shoving down. And you're just excited to see what the next thing just unfolds before you with such ease and flow and grace. Like it's so much fun to watch.
that's who I am. That's who I always was. But when you're
Yes.
seeing who you're supposed to be, then things are just out of sync and
Mhm.
things are messed up.
Yeah.
And then going in and digging through the crud and the junk that's in your life and trying to figure out, well, how did I get here? How did I get there?
Yes.
To me, that wasn't helping me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
But, open up the light and
Yeah.
then there it is. And then
Yes.
I'll just walk into it. It's all good. Yes.
I love that so much. Thank you for sharing. I love that. Okay, who else? Jan or Sarah, do you guys have anything to share? Jan, it looks like you're putting yourself off of mute, so
Yeah. The word shift is in my head as I speak about this.
yeah.
And I love that because I was feeling one, especially after we had the identity calibration. I was like, whoa. And it was kind of a little scary for me, but exciting. And, I hear what you're saying about, going to what we feel we have to fix. And I think that word right there is it's kind of never ending then. It's like you're always looking, you're always trying to find that. And I was in that place, I was the one who was always looking for the next best thing. And now it's kind of like, okay, accepting what comes my way. And the contrast, and I talked to you about this previously, when they showed up, at first
Yeah.
I'd kind of go back to that scarcity thing.
Yeah.
But now I'm kind of like, well, who am I? Who
Yeah.
am I? And that right there has, I don't know, it changes how I look at everything I do. And you were just talking about that, but it really did. That was my shift, was like looking at it from that point of view. And I really appreciate that, because I am so tired of trying to fix myself. I'm already fixed. I'm okay. I'm
Yes.
safe, and I'm in a good place. And that has been the best part of all of this. And then also the people that I get to connect with, and how that is what exudes from me. And
Yeah.
they feel that, because I love connecting with people. That's one of my favorite things is, one-on-one or even in a group, but I do love one-on-ones. But I think I'm really excited that you are going in this direction, because I was feeling a little lost within the team for a while there. And you and I talked about that too.
Yeah.
And now I'm seeing, like you said, go check out the clarity piece. So I did. And it was like, oh, dang, everything started falling into place for me. And I am very excited about this. So, wow, that's all I can say is it's been that question of who am I and who do I get to be? And that's a question I usually ask myself, but it's a different question now because I'm coming from my identity.
Yeah.
And I guess for a while there, I didn't know who I was, even at my great age.
That's just it. It's a journey. And that's one of the things that I talk about, is that I equate this to like the statue of David. And Michelangelo has, whether this is a direct quote or not, but has been coined with this phrase of, I saw the angel within the clay and I carved until I set him free. And I believe that we all have our version of statue of David within us. It's this sacred identity, this person inside of us that already has everything that we need, the equipness of what we need. And it's the patterns of this world and the things that we've gone through and the traumas and the conditioning and the programming, all the things that essentially put the clay or the plaster over and hide our statue of David.
Yes.
And it's literally like I'm setting that angel free when I do these sessions.
Yes.
And Jan, like when you go back to the actual identity recalibration session that we did, tell me about your experience with that particular, just the actual session itself.
Once we got into it, it was fairly easy to kind of figure out the identity piece, but now I've kind of added to it, the queen part. I love that. I'm sitting here drawing a picture of a queen. And I just remember shortly after we got to that point and and I felt so amazing. And then you brought up the David thing again. And it was like, I had a vision of literally feeling those pieces falling off of me. And there I was standing in my power pose with my hands on the hip like Wonder Woman. And that's what my statue looked like in the end. So I get to do that every morning in front of the mirror. I'm like, look at me. So I'm the queen. But that was kind of the biggest moment for me, was shedding that part of me that was hiding that real self, that beauty that I have inside. So is that what you were asking about?
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. And that's the cool thing, is that these sessions are literally driven by consciousness. And so your higher self has the ability to take us exactly where it's supposed to go. So for you and Kellie, both of your sessions allowed us to capture a moment within this lifetime.
Yes.
And Kellie, you had the integration of the energy exchange from your grandma in this really cool vision. So she was there with us, which is really cool. David, we were able to tap into both a past life as well as a future version in a way that was super powerful. And then Sarah, that yours was a very profound past life experience. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your session?
Yeah, so the idea of like sharing a contrast kind of came to mind, is the before and the after. But it always was feeling like I was reaching for something if I just tried harder and just pushed or had more information, or another class, kind of similar to what Jan was saying. And it was almost like, I guess, a picture in my mind of me, and it was like just this fluttering, like there was just no synchronicity. And then we went into the session and it was just easeful. It just like flowed. And then this picture came up of a queen-like energy in a beautiful, like medieval library. There were books everywhere, and this, like, I mean, it's so vivid, Gothic stained glass and books, and just there was just this deep feeling of peace and satisfaction. And then, as you took, there was that somatic integration. It was like this, just all of a sudden that frequency, that static, like disappeared, and it was just like this anchoring happened, and it was me, but it was just this beautiful, like, plugging in, but it wasn't even reaching. And then when, of course, I came out of it, that feeling didn't go away. That, the thoughts, the feelings, the beliefs, because you were asking questions during the process, and it's carried with me. And so what's been interesting is I'm literally moving through the world as a completely different person. So it's like when they talk about take aligned action, you talk about that. I will be honest, I was before, it just didn't click. And now it just flows. Like things that used to trigger me are not triggering me. They show up, but it's just the peace and the grace. There's just this grace. I'm answering with gracefulness. And then the funny thing, a person I hadn't seen for like a month, I just talked to her the other day, and she's like, okay, I'm dressed like this, I'm at work. She said, there's something different about you. And what happened? And so I told her a little bit about it. And then she, without any prompting, just kind of said, it's really like a queen energy, but it's this like soft queen and graceful. And I was just like, Lord. Yeah. And so I love the way that it feels. I'm not striving. I'm not having to push. It is. And so I don't know how to communicate that without someone actually experiencing it, but have someone confirm it from the outside. And then the other phrase is, I think I was stuck in, I'll believe it when I see it, even though I have an understanding. Now it's reversed. I'm seeing it because I believe it.
Yes.
So
which is the principle of manifestation, but oftentimes we allow our worldly things to prevent us from being able to really fully step into faith in action, right? And so this shifted for you. And so what we do in these sessions is we help, you guys as the person are in control of what you want to focus on. So you set the intention. Who do I get to be, and what identity do I want to carry from that space? And when I think about who do I want to be, and I can describe that part of me, that adjective, and everything else starts to fall into place if I can come from a place of that embodiment as the source code. Everything else starts to fall into place, and you guys are the ones who would establish your own personal statement. You set the intention. We brought in consciousness, and so if you are somebody who doesn't believe in past lives, that's fine, because what also happens is that our ancestors actually, their genetics and their energy and their, not only their blocks but also their empowered places in their lifetimes also are transferred to you in your lineage. And so sometimes it might even just be you're experiencing life through the life of somebody that you have in your family, right? And so Kellie and I have experienced something like that in the past, where you were literally, if I recall your situation, I think you were in your grandma's kitchen, weren't you? Yeah, as your grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's so cool how consciousness and our loved ones and our highest self can bring us to the exact moment that allow you to experience it as if it's in the first person, right? And really tap into that. And so once we allow consciousness to take us there, we embody this version of ourselves, and we bring in anchoring to help to allow for subconscious reprogramming as well as embodiment, because our subconscious is more than just our brain. Our subconscious is in our body and our nervous system. So we tap into the embodiment in our whole being, and we link it to the future version of ourselves with intention. And that's basically what happens. So when somebody goes through one of these sessions with me, essentially we're taking a quantum jump and helping them to get into established this embodiment of the person that they get to be. And then from that place of source code, everything else starts to fall into place. And I just think it's so fun because every session is a little bit different. And what I love about this so much too is that when I think about, E4 is a trauma response process that I've been trained in, my coaches have been trained in. And as David referred to that, it's when some of the features within my program, right? So my program in Spiral Up is a hybrid. So it's group and it's one-on-one support from one of my coaches. And I found that people were resisting, whether consciously or subconsciously, having to go in and dig in to the muck of the root causes of why they were held back. And I'm like, what's going on here? And that's really what led me to this realization that we get to just shift the way that we approach growth altogether. We're literally shifting the entire way we see personal development in this space. And what's so cool about this is that when I think about my Spiral Up program, I've already created the recalibration chamber or the container to hold people's energy at their new programmed level inside of the program. It was almost like God helped me to create that first, so that when I take people through these treatments, because it's a one-time thing, that we bring you to this place. And now I have the support to help support your body and your mind into the new recalibration, because the world takes time to recalibrate to your new identity. And so sometimes, like you said, we'll see more contrast and we think, well, what the heck's going on? Like, why is it feel shittier than it does for a moment? And it's because our new identity is able to recognize things even more crisply of what I don't want anymore. What am I no longer willing to tolerate? And it brings it into the realization because everything else is starting to recalibrate to you. And so we have this program ready for you to support you in that space. And then what you guys do is you are able to maintain the identity and the calibration and the bringing and the syncing of that frequency over and over again. And what's so cool is that you guys have had a chance to experience it, and now you believe in it. Just feels different, doesn't it? And so talk about maybe just like what you felt like you needed after the session and what you've gotten that has helped. And it could be, within what we do together, or it could be outside of that, because people are going to likely want to experience this stuff. What kind of things what advice would you give somebody?
One of the things that I feel like I've needed is to apply
Mhm.
new identity and what would get me to the new identity. Yeah, so my focus is on, so being a musician is part of my identity, and so I need to focus on reintegrating that into my life. So I took all my instruments, got them all cleaned up, fixed up, and now I'm putting energy into that.
Yeah.
So because that's an aspect of my new identity that I think is the whole thing. So,
Yeah.
so Sarah and I had talked about what is it that you lose yourself in, you lose time in, that you do, and you just all of a sudden you realize, oh my gosh, 2-3 hours have gone by, and I've just been consumed, and that's what music is for me. And so I'm able to do that and engage in that now, and lose myself in that energy. And there were aspects like the gardening is still a big part, and I still lose my energy in that because that's part of the beauty of the whole thing. So that's what I would say. Aside from the value that we have with our AO scan software
Yes.
that we
Yes.
use, that is
Yes.
so important because I totally use that to recalibrate my emotions, to do all of that stuff.
Yes.
So AOScan software from Solex has been very.
Absolutely, 100%. And that's one of the protocols that I have for everybody who goes through this, is that I suggest, and people that are in Spiral Up have access to the AO scan. And so what we do is we use it to recalibrate our frequency each day by pushing some buttons, and I can speak my identity into it. It's going to pick up any resistance that I have in my subconscious, and it's going to give me music to listen to untangle that resistance. So I don't have to be in therapy. I don't have to talk about this stuff. I don't have to energize it. I just get to listen to music and keep making decisions based on my new identity. Like, it doesn't have to be freaking hard, you guys. Like, that's how fun this is, right? Sarah, you were going to say something.
My advice would be, or more of a, I guess, a combination of things, is here in Spiral Up is a community that is very much like a quantum experience through, like you said, there's a community. So you have people that just adore you and we come together and there's this beautiful accountability, but you get to be yourself, but there's this love and compassion. So it's growth minded. So there's this beautiful community. Then you have in the back end this vault, a quantum vault of support that gives you tools that now look different because my identity is different. And then with the coaches, I feel like the work that I'm doing is switched, where the tool that we have, the E4, is still applicable, but now it's supporting someone in continuing to activate the identity. And then I call the E4 beautiful technology as the weed puller when we need it. It's sort of there can be a route that's just the hanging out, but we keep coming back to the what we're going to be, and then we work through some affirmations to plug into mind sync on the AO scan. So all of these, the wisdom you bring, the visionary, the leading us always back to it gets to be easy, and a community. So it's like this whole, for lack of a better phrase, whole package. So that's my advice is, if you are a entrepreneur that's passionate about what you do and you need a community that's quantum technology, this is your place.
Yeah, it is. That's what you said. Like, it's that vulnerability. You get to be yourself, but also like we get to see, and that's one of the things that I think has come out of this for me is this acknowledgement of you guys know, and I've shared it on the podcast. I was in a funk at the end of this last year because I'm like, well, what makes me special? What is it? But it's like I've always could see things in people. Like I could see your David. And that's the thing, like I've always been able to see potential in things without the world maybe always getting to see them. And what's so freaking cool about this is that when I do these identity sessions, I will tell you like 100% of the time, the thing that the person is listing out as their identity that they're stepping into are already the things that I've already seen in them. 100% of the time. And so it's like, holy crap, right? And so it's like, it's allowing ourselves to be vulnerable and letting people who love us and see us for what we can be there to hold us in that vibration and keep ourselves in this high vibration space where we don't get sucked back into the patterns of this world. We don't get sucked back into the lower frequency because life will try to bring you back. But what we do is we've reestablished it. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, you're going to see my hand. It's like you might have an up and down, but you're not going all the way back down to where you were. You're going up and maybe down a little bit and then up again. And so it's almost like a stair step in a way versus this big loops downward. It's like, I don't know. That's how I've been experiencing it. Yeah.
Can I build on that?
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about like just, I've been working with you for about 2 years now.
Yeah.
Costa Rica was 2 years ago, that first retreat I went on with you. And I'm like, who I am today is not who I was 2 years ago. And I even look at the pictures of Costa Rica versus the last retreat in Greece, or even me now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you can see it in me just how much I've shifted and changed. And like, even though the identity recalibration sessions are new as of just the last few weeks, right?
Yeah.
The way that you genuinely see people's highest potential in them. Like, I will, when I tell people about you, LaChelle, I'm like, it's like I was just living my life knowing I had great things to offer, and you swooped in and picked me up and put me on a new trajectory. And you're like, nope, you're coming with me. And I'm so glad. But I feel like you do that with everybody that enters in your circle. And when like you see it in them and you want it for them, and as soon as they say yes too, the shifts that happen. And I've had really high highs and I've had some painful lows because you've helped me come to this frequency that's high. And then, like, especially after that first retreat, I hit hard because the way I had my life set up, And what you just exposed me to, experience, whatever
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
whatever word I want to put there, like it was such a, and I don't even say this in any negative way, but like when I came home, it was like such a slap in the face of,
Mhm.
whoa, this is how I've been living, even though I've known I've been capable of this.
Yeah.
And so, even without these identity sessions, you have seen that and you've helped bring people up. And now, with these, it's like they get to go there faster and then they have that time to sustain it
Mhm.
for however long they stay in the
Yeah,
self-love
yeah.
community. And it's like I get really excited for people who are in the community and who are going to join it, because knowing firsthand, like your life is not going to stay the same and you're going to feel
Yeah.
better.
Oh my God, I love that. Like I'm gonna have to like take that little sound bite and like listen to it every single night before I go to bed. Like, thank you so much. You're just amazing gift to me. And but that's just it, right? And I think that I didn't know where this conversation is gonna go. I just wanted to talk with my friends here and have, this real life experience and sharing what we've been going through. But I will say though that somebody can absolutely go through one of these sessions with me and you will feel different. Did you not feel different like the moment we ended? Like you were noticeably different, right? So somebody could come in and have one session with me and feel different. Kellie, you took yourself off mute.
Yeah, I noticed in my session with you, my spine was straighter, my shoulders were straighter. Like I went, I mean,
Yes.
I'm kind of slouching today. I'm sitting on my floor, so that's partly why. But
Yeah.
like in the session, I had noticed I was just kind of down like this. And
Mhm.
afterward, and it wasn't because I was trying, my body just stood up
Yes. Yes.
straighter and I
Yes.
could feel the power in it.
Yes, but what I think that I just by listening to you guys, it just reaffirms to me that God had already helped me create the recalibration chamber to hold people in because as you mentioned and I can't remember which one of you, Sarah, maybe, I can't remember. Um, Sometimes after you have a shift like this too, you'll actually get sick, like physically sick, because your body is shedding things that are no longer aligned with that frequency. And so you will oftentimes become ill. You will see you'll all of a sudden like you'll have more contrast like you said, Kellie, like you got home and you're like what the heck, because you're no longer willing to tolerate fine, and you start to recognize what you no longer want to experience, and just having the support around you to help you maintain that, you'll never go back to where you were, but to allow yourself to navigate it a little bit faster can absolutely happen when you have the right support around you. That's my thought on that. I don't know, Jan, what do you think?
Oh, I would say absolutely, because I have definitely gone through that within the last week.
Yeah.
I hardly ever get sick. And I got hit really, really hard. And I'm like, okay. And the one thing that came through with this was I was releasing.
Yeah.
It was flowing out of me literally.
Yeah.
And, so I'm going to just keep it there. But when I looked at it that way, I
Yeah.
thought, oh, and then I was like, go, go, go. Let's get this done. It's okay because
Yeah.
my body was speaking to me
Yeah.
and I really needed to hear that, even if it wasn't in a really happy way. But it spoke to me. And then just some other things that had come up, it's letting me know what else I need to let go
Yeah.
of. And I
Yeah.
thought, oh my gosh, because like my TV broke. All of a sudden I'm like, oh, good. I'm not going to watch TV anymore. I mean, I still will, but
Yeah.
it was just because I was spending too much time on it.
Mhm.
That was kind of my little safe place. And I thought I'd
Yeah.
have to go there. So it's those things that it lit me up about what I could let go of
Yeah.
and who I am now. That's the exciting part,
Yeah.
and I do get to hang out with amazing people like you guys,
Yes.
all
Oh
of
my
you.
gosh.
And I'm
Right.
like, how fun is that? And, I had quite a bit of resistance too with the E4. But I am a coach of it and I could see the value of it too.
Yeah.
But I love looking for that thing, that time when you had that realization about who you are.
Yeah.
And mine was a couple things that was in my life. And they were times when I got to really feel like the leader I am,
Mhm.
and the confidence and power I had. So I'm just saying, there's so many realizations that come to you through this if you allow it and you just keep doing. I don't know. I really think I really like myself now. I mean, I love myself. And that was part of this too, even though I thought I did. Now it's a whole different kind of love. It's that queen love. It's that.
It's different, isn't it? And David, you mentioned something about who I wanted to be when I grew up. And I want to just pause right there, you guys, because it's not what we do, it's who we are while we do it. And so many times we say, well, I want to be a dentist, or I want to be a nurse, I want to be a teacher. Those are what you do. Who are you being? And when we recognize that, it's not what you do, it's who you are while you do it. And so what we are doing is we're allowing who we're being to create a different doing, and therefore having a different life. And we can do it very fast, like timeline jump fast, just shifting things very, very fast. And if you guys are ready for that, like if you as listeners are ready for that, if you're done doing all of the work, things feel heavy, I want to invite you to experience one of these identity sessions with me. So let's recalibrate your identity. And I'm going to say this on the show because I think maybe you guys need to hear this, but you all have given me this reaffirmation, I guess, of how important it is to have the container to support. Like, it's kind of like the good, better, best. And yes, they're good, but a better place is to even be like surrounded by other people who are also feeling this shift. And so what I want to do is I'm going to invite all of you guys who are considering having an identity recalibration with me, that what I will do is I will apply the investment of that session into the Spiral Up container so that you're not out anything, and you will be able to just merge that into the investment of being inside of our amazing community. You'd have access to one-on-one time with Sarah and Jan and Kellie. You'll have an identity session with me personally. And let's shift this, guys. Let's do this. There are amazing things that you all have access to as long as you allow yourself to vibrate at the frequency that allows that to happen. And I believe very much that when we all start to calibrate ourselves to this, the identity of true love, which is what we are inside, our true statue of David, the whole world will start to shift. Like, this is a movement that I am charging forward on. And I'm so grateful for all of you guys to be here with me on this. Any last thoughts as we wrap up our conversation? I just want to make sure that we kind of give you guys a chance to say anything else that you want to express. Yeah.
I would love to. I'll keep it brief, but I just remember the first time you talked to me about what you were thinking. And I just remember the excitement I felt. And I was like, I can't wait to see what this becomes. And then I got to experience it. And I just want to say, it was life-changing. It still continues to be. So thank you. Thank you for that. That was, I thought, God, this gal's a genius. Can I say that a lot?
As I told Sarah earlier today, words of affirmation are my love language. So I'm just gonna receive it. So I'm gonna say thank you.
There you go. Sending it your way.
Thank you, my love. Anybody else before we wrap up? Nope, you're good? Awesome. Well, thank you guys for just spending a little bit more time with me today. I absolutely adore you. For all of you guys who are listening, I'm sure that any one of these lovely people here would be happy to give you any advice and stuff as well. But let's start shifting things, you guys. Let's start changing the world, one identity recalibration at a time. All right, you guys, I'll see y'all next week. Bye, everybody.
So much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Each honest review helps me spiral up so that I can serve you even better. Whether you're feeling a lack of impact, income, or time freedom, or perhaps you're just ready for massive momentum in your business, let's chat. Apply for a call so that you can gain clarity, identify what's holding you back, and make a plan to spiral up. Head on over to im-lifebydesign.com or access the link in the show notes. For immediate support, log into our community, the Better Club. We focus on inspiration, tactical guidance, and support. This is a community that wants to be better, do better, and have better in life and in business, and we're going to help you do the same. Let's spiral up, friends.